Good evening, everyone.
This meeting is being recorded.
How are you doing?
Great.
Smiles, thumbs up, anything. Please greet me. I'm bored of not being
Amazing. Thank
greeted.
you for asking, Chaitanya.
Yes. Good
We're
evening,
doing
everyone.
wonderful. Thank you, Chaitanya.
I'm sorry I couldn't see your face, just could hear your voice. Please come on camera. If it's possible, please do come on camera. It's not that late in the evening and we are all energetic. So let's start. Welcome to our thunderous Thursday of a huge speech marathon joined by both Gabbys and Gabbys Online Toastmaster Club. Now, without wasting any further time, I'll be highlighting few very important key points. Toastmaster International allows us to present our views on all kinds of topics, but we at the Gabbys Toastmaster Club request all the speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on topics of sex, religion, and politics. We urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we as club practice diversity and inclusion in letter and in spirit, hence ensure that there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertones which create hostility and discomfort among the members and the guests. I will be now calling upon the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prabha Lohaniwal. She's a fun-loving, ambitious, and sporty person. Alongside her profession as a product manager, she finds delight in exploring new places and immersing herself in different cultures through travels. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prabha.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, that was our Toastmaster Chaitanya, our Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Can we have a big round of applause for Chaitanya, Toastmaster Chaitanya? All right. A very good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure to be presiding over the Gabbys Speech Marathon. I would like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of all our guests to our meeting. So, dear guests and visiting Toastmasters, we highly appreciate you joining us. Due to paucity of time, which means due to limited time, we won't have an opportunity to have each of you introduce yourself, but we would love to know you. I would urge you to use the chat function to share a brief intro of yours. We will ask you to share your feedback at the end of the meeting. Also, please join the Gabbys guest WhatsApp group by scanning the QR code on our Zoom background. I am glad that I got to play the role of TMOD today. So for the benefit of guests, I would want to reiterate the Toastmaster that the Toastmaster is a home to people who wish to face their fear of public speaking. Not only that, if you love to connect and network with others, if you want to hone your leadership skills, Toastmaster is the place for you. It's a safe place to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We are proud to carry forward this 100 years old legacy, which is spanned over 100 plus countries. And for everyone's understanding, in a regular Toastmaster meeting, we have 3 sections. First is prepared speech section. Second is table topics section. Third is evaluation section. But today we have a speech marathon and we have only 2 sections. First is prepared speech section, including a fantastic panel discussion. And second is evaluation section. And to help me in today's speech marathon, I have a timer. And the timer for today is Toastmaster Maanvi Kumar. Toastmaster Maanvi Kumar is a biotechnologist turned into psychology and enthusiast. She is currently pursuing her PhD in training and development from ISTD Delhi. Aside of being a student, her keen interest lies in interacting with people, making friends, and giving surprises. And she has been a Toastmaster since January 2020. Toastmaster Maanvi, would you please explain your role?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Prabha, for a warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I today will be helping you all with the timings. And as Toastmaster Prabha stated that we only have 2 sections today. So for the prepared speech, the normal speeches have 5 to 7 minutes time, for which I'll show the green card at 5 minutes. the yellow card at 6 minutes, and a red card at 7 minutes. And for other speeches, I'll go as mentioned in the agenda. The second session, that is the evaluation section, which comprises of evaluators speaking for 2 to 3 minutes. I'll show the green card at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. And at the completion of 3 minutes, I'll show the red card. And we'll share the report after the evaluation session whenever TMOD calls upon. That was all from my side, being the timer of the meeting. Toastmaster Prabha, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Maanvi, for that detailed explanation. All right, now let's get started with the first section, the prepared speech section. We have powerful and dynamic marathon of 5 speeches. So let's call upon our first speaker. She is the triple path breaker in 9 months of her Toastmasters journey and secretary of Gabbys Toastmaster Club. She has empowered over 6,000 individuals to secure promotions, ace interviews, and excel in the visual and vocal communication. Driven by her passion for making a meaningful impact, she aspires to positively transform the lives of 1 million individuals by the year 2033. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Toastmaster Chitrakshi is attempting her level 1 project 3, which is introduction to vocal variety and body language from the path innovative planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. Timer, please note the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Chetna, you will be evaluating Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Can you please confirm your presence, Toastmaster Chetna?
Yeah, I'm there.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Chitrakshi, once upon a time, Toastmaster Chitrakshi.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 men. The special thing about these 3 men living in one house was that they were of 3 different generations. So one was the grandfather, then the father, and the son. The 3 of them lived very nicely. Who were these 3 people? The grandfather was a man who came from a lower middle class family, had big dreams and ambitions, and decided to start his own business. And voila! He started a business, and it was so good that he was now the owner of a 100 crore company. He was the sole owner of a 100 crore company. Then came the father. Now, this father was a really good man. However, he was overburdened by the shadow of this owner, the father, the grandfather, the 100 crore company owner. To live under the shadow of such a man was stress and terror in itself, because he had to constantly prove to the entire world that he was worthy of that money. And then came the son, this third generation, who was born into the richness and knew that he deserved each and every penny there. Everything that the grandfather and the father earned was
No, you were mute for split seconds.
Okay. Now good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this son knew that he was the only heir of all this 100 crore establishment that 2 generations had created for him. So he didn't have to worry. He didn't have to stress. He didn't have to sweat. All he had to do was figure a way out to spend the 100 crores. And plus, that the other generations would still be working very hard to earn. Now, the most stressed here and everywhere was the father, because he had to manage a son who didn't care about anything, no responsibilities, no accountability. All that the son cared was about the money and how he could enjoy himself. One day, the grandfather passed away. To everyone's surprise, there were thousands of cars all over. Everyone wanted to attend the funeral because this man was always there for everyone around him. Whether it was someone who mopped the floors of his company or another person who was investing in his company, he went to everyone's wedding, everyone's family functions, every little occasion, every festive greeting. He was always there and he treated them equally, if not more. He treated everyone like that. He had so many good wishes that when he passed away, people came with tears in their eyes, handing condolences to the family. The good, tricky, funny, sad, happy, all the other parts were that now two men in the generation remained. Now, these two men stayed in a huge farmhouse with lots and lots of people to help them. They had a gardener who had to make sure that everything was prim, proper, and trimmed really well. There was a chef who cooked the most beautiful, yummiest, exquisite of exquisite cuisines that were possible, and the most exotic of things. And there was one, two, no, there were three people to clean the whole house because it was such a huge house. What about the dusting and the ruffling and the sweeping and the mopping? There were so many people. Now, the stress that the father had accumulated over the years had fallen upon him in such a way that he started showing a violent streak, because of which he was always angry and always shouting at people around him. Hey, how could you leave the house so dirty? Why aren't these dusted? My spoon still has some soap on them. How do you clean the house? Oh, this food is atrocious. Who even eats it? He always had a knack of being very mean to people. The son did not care much, so he would eat 2 spoons of rice and give the rest to the help. Not because he was really kind, but because, well, he did not care. And he knew there was lots and lots and lots for everyone. One day, there was a zombie apocalypse. And the frontliners of the family, the house help, were the first ones to be bitten by the zombies and converted into zombies. So they came and they ate everyone up. The first person they ate was none other than the father, because ultimately even the zombies had emotions and they realized that this mean, angry person needed to be away from everyone else. And so they killed the father. When it was time to kill the son, they stopped, they wondered, and remembered all the good things that he had done for them. At the lowest of points, they did not realize that it was because of being surplus that he did these things. They remembered that he thought of them. He thought they were humans when they were humans. And they spared him. They spared him. The zombies started going back to being humans. And they spared this man because he had shown them kindness. He had shown them kindness when nobody else did. My dear Toastmasters and guests, here is your lesson from my once upon a time. It's never too late to be kind, because if ever there is a zombie apocalypse, you don't want to be the first person to be eaten. So be kind, be grateful, and treat everyone with respect. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, Toastmaster Chitrakshi, what a captivating story or speech, I must say. A big round of applause to you. All right, so let's call upon our second speaker of the day. He is a software engineer working in Bangalore. His interest includes music, cooking, sports, trekking, traveling, and doing adventurous sports such as rafting, paragliding, etc. And the list goes on. He is keen towards learning new things and be able to do something that has an impact. Let's give it up for our next speaker, Toastmaster Chaitanya. Toastmaster Chaitanya is attempting his level 3 project 3, which is connect with storytelling from the path presentation mastery. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Timer, please note the speech length is about 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Shilpa, you will be evaluating Toastmaster Chaitanya. Can you please confirm your presence, Toastmaster Shilpa?
Yes, I'm around.
Thank you. Toastmaster Chaitanya, is it real? Is it real, Toastmaster Chaitanya?
Do you believe that there are things that exist which we can't see usually? Please raise your hands. I see only one hand or two hands. It is very hard to believe in things which only exist in stories and tales and fables. But what if you encounter something like that? Would you believe it then? Fellow Toastmasters, let me share such an incident with you. My ancestral home is in a very remote village. It is so remote that even today, we don't have proper roads. Power lines were set up only in 2011. Before that, there was darkness, no electricity around a 10-kilometer radius of that village. The name of the village is Sonutola Kacharia, and this name is after one of my ancestors. It is because our family has been living there for around 10 to 11 generations, and most of my ancestors were leaders in that region. The house there is so old that even today, we have coins of Mughal era. Some say that physical structures and buildings change their molecular arrangement as per the events that goes around them. In short, they store memories. Now, if something is so old, I wonder what kind of memories would they store? The house that I'm talking about is humongous. It is rectangular in shape. There's an entrance at the eastern corner. There's a huge lawn area here, and there's a well over here. I really don't know how old that well is because even my grandmother said that it was there even before her marriage. And let me tell you, she got married at the age of 12. That house has a huge courtyard in between, 2 rooms on the first floor, from where you can see the whole terrace. It was back in 2009 during the month of April, during the summers. Me, my sister, my grandmother, and one of my uncle and aunt were living there. All other cousins had gone to their nanny's place. Now, in such a huge house, only 5 people living over there, it's usually very quiet. That time, my aunt, whom I call Kaki, she was usually busy doing household chores, and my uncle used to go to the farm, and usually he came very late. My grandmother is very old to maintain that party vibe and all, so it was either me or my sister in the house making the noise. There, we had this habit of sleeping after lunch every afternoon. So on one afternoon, I slept a little longer, and when I woke up, it was almost dark. Every evening, me and my sister used to place lanterns all around the house that time. And because it was almost dark, I got up hurriedly, and at the edge of the terrace from the window, I saw Kaki standing there. I shouted, "Kaki, lanterns are lit?" She did not turn. She did not respond. I thought she might be tired, so I went downstairs. But when I reached there, I was confused. Kaki was there. She was cleaning the lantern. My sister was there. She was putting kerosene in them. I looked up at the terrace, looked at her. She asked me in a joking manner, "You slept a lot today." I couldn't respond. I stood numb. Then I thought to myself, maybe it was just an illusion. Anyways, I was half asleep. So I took the lanterns, placed it everywhere. And I tell you, it was so dark over there, even the light from the lantern used to get absorbed in that darkness. If you stand in one corner of the courtyard, the other corner of the courtyard used to look pitch black, nothing visible. That evening, one of my grandmother's friend, who was also a local priest, had come over and they were talking about spirits and family gods. I just overheard some of the conversation and just walked away doing what I was doing. That night, after the dinner, I and my sister were sleeping. We used to sleep in the same room. On in that room on the first floor. Now, I wasn't able to sleep that well that night. So I started telling her about the things that happened. And after what she told me, my brain was numbed. She told me that she had also seen a similar person the very same evening in the courtyard. Two people cannot have the same illusions. So we waited till the morning. We did not go out of the room. As the sun rose, we ran to our grandmother, told her about it, and she, without wasting a single minute, called the priest. That priest was there in the house. She said a ritual had to be done that night. At night, everything was set. The ritual started. In between the ritual, something went missing, the sacred thread. She asked me to get that sacred thread, and my bad luck, that thread was there in that room. So I rushed upstairs. The staircase was so dark, lit by only a little bit of moonlight. I went upstairs, grabbed that thread, and as I was returning, I was standing on top of that staircase. At the corner, I saw a figure. Didi, is it you? No response. I slowly moved downstairs, and as I got closer, it became clearer. It was indeed a lady, not my sister, not my grandmother, and definitely not Kaki. As I took that turn from that staircase, I could see her staring at me, emotionless, and she stood still over there. I rushed to the priest again, told her everything about it, and she did some rituals over there also and assured us that maybe she was one of our ancestors who had come to visit us. That is what they say in the rural regions. And so that night we slept in my grandmother's room. After that, after a few days, nothing happened. And one day I went to the farm with my uncle. And as I was returning from there, it was almost dark. He was not there with me as he had some more work to do. As I reached to the entrance, I saw my grandmother sitting at the porch. Kaki and my sister, they were cutting grass for the cow. There on terrace, she stood, looking straight into my eyes. I wonder, do we really know everything about what is real, or we know very little? Is it true that these stored memories take visual forms from these structures? Are those old sayings and stories actually our history? I am not sure what I saw that day, and I am not sure should I believe it or not. But was it real, or was it just a figment of my imagination? Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, Toastmaster Chaitanya, what a great story. We were totally able to visualize the whole story in our mind. I'm sure like this is one of your great speeches. Over a big round of applause to you. All right, so our next speaker, third speaker is a senior data analyst and also a certified image consultant and personal branding coach. She is a vice president education of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Please put your hands together for our distinguished Toastmaster, Nancy Goel. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel is attempting her Level 4 Project 2, which is question and answer session from the path Visionary Communication. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question. The member is responsible for managing time, so there is an adequate opportunity for both. Timer, please note the speech length is about 15 to 20 minutes. Toastmaster Bindhu Joseph, you will be evaluating distinguished Toastmaster Nancy. Could you please confirm your presence?
Yeah, I'm very much here.
All right, thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy, the program, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy. Over to you.
My project today is question and answer session. So I would request you all to pay attention to what I'm going to say now, to tell you something different, to tell you something new, so that you can frame up your questions, and I will be taking your questions towards the end of the session, once I'm done speaking. You may make notes, or in case you think something needs to be addressed immediately, please feel free to share your questions through chat box, and I will try to include that as part of my content. The program. What I'm going to talk about in the program. Speechcraft Experience Season 2. This year, we have launched a program called Speechcraft Experience. Why is it Season 2? Because we launched this program last year as well. And last year, it was a huge success. Now, before I move further with the speech, talking about speechcraft is this, speechcraft is that, I would want to understand how many of you are familiar with the word speechcraft here. By raise of hands, anyone who knows what is a speechcraft. I can see Toastmaster Samita raising her hand because she has been a speechcrafter from previous season. We have Toastmaster Prabha raising her hand. Okay, Toastmaster Sanjay, Toastmaster Chitrakshi, another speechcrafter from season 1, now a Toastmaster. Who else? I can see a lot of new faces. Some of you are Toastmasters, some of you are yet to be Toastmasters. That's how I would like to put it. For those of you who already know what a speechcraft is, I'll be repeating a little bit for you again, because I need to also cover rest of the audience. Speechcraft is a program. It's an 8-week experiential learning program where we have projects that cover the basics of public speaking. Speechcraft is experiential learning program where we have projects that cover the basics of public speaking. Now you may wonder how Speechcraft is different from Toastmasters. Toastmasters has projects which are all about public speaking. Toastmasters is a platform where we talk about self-paced speeches, self-paced projects, self-paced learning, and whatnot. Toastmasters is all about public speaking. So what is different in Speechcraft? For those of you who might feel that, okay, maybe I'm not ready to commit for 6 months at a stretch for a membership. For those of you who might think that, okay, I'm not so self-motivated. For those of you who might think that, okay, Toastmasters seems so overwhelming that I want to have something to give me that cushion to just get started with public speaking. If you are one among them, Speechcraft is for you. Toastmasters International has institutionalized this program called Pathways Education Program that we as Toastmasters go through when we join as a Toastmaster. Then why did Toastmasters feel the need of Speechcraft? I think I've answered that already. Toastmasters felt that there are people who are not ready to commit a long time duration. There are people who might want to start even smaller than an icebreaker project within Toastmasters. There are people who would want to get started with the basics before they get onto stage and start handling difficult audience. They need to understand even the mere basics of public speaking. And that's where they created this certified program called Speechcraft. So this is what the Speechcraft program is all about. And I had the honor of handling Speechcraft program in association with Image Management Professional Association last year, where we had our season 1 of Speechcraft program. We had almost 20 to 22 Speechcrafters, out of which almost 10 people are Toastmasters with the Gabbys now. And that itself is a testimony that when I say Speechcraft has a power to build confident speakers within 8 weeks, that's what is a testimony for the statement. We already have people who wanted to join Toastmasters. We already have people who wanted to explore more. We already have people who are now even going places with Toastmasters due to Speechcraft. This year, again, we have tied up with IMPA, Image Management Professional Association. We have created 5 batches. These 5 batches are going to run from 8th October onwards, almost every day of the week. We have batches on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We have covered 5 days a week, and rest 3 days a week, we have Gabbys meetings. That's how the entire program has been planned. And we have ensured that this information reaches most of the people from Image Management Professional Association. And we have already got 35 registrations, which means this has helped us build our club funds. That's one. Second, these are our potential members for future. Third, what's in it for them? Definitely learning for public speaker. Now, at the same time, you might be wondering, for those who are new here, who are panelists, who are not Toastmasters today, they might be benefiting from this kind of information. What's in it for rest of you who are already Toastmasters? Whenever we launch a program called Speechcraft, you can take up various roles here. This gives you opportunity to explore even more things that you might not explore with Toastmasters right away. First thing, you can pick up a mentorship role. You can be a Speechcraft mentor where you will be mentoring budding speakers. And if you feel it daunting enough within Toastmasters to mentor people who are Toastmasters already, just try and explore it with Speechcrafters. You'll find it even more, it's more of a rich experience. That's how I would like to put it. Second is you can pick up a role, you can deliver an educational session. If you think you're very confident with the topic now, for example, how to conduct a speech with a purpose, how to deliver a speech with a purpose. Now, how would you educate others on the same topic? That's going to enhance your learning to another level. And you can be an educational speaker by delivering sessions in Speechcraft program itself. And third, you can pick up Speechcraft coordinator role. Speechcraft coordinator is one who coordinates the entire batch. Like I said, we have got 5 batches. We have got Speechcraft coordinators already, but we have plans of having more Speechcraft programs in the near future, maybe a month or 2 down the line. So if in case you are interested to be a Speechcraft coordinator, you must know what a Speechcraft coordinator does. A Speechcraft coordinator plays the role of a VP education end-to-end for 8 weeks and emerges as a leader. That's where you organize meetings for 8 weeks at a stretch. You understand the mentor-mentee relationships between the Speechcrafters as well as the Toastmasters, where you help them build those relationships. You ensure that their learning is complete and enriching experience they get. At the same time, you yourself become a confident leader, a confident organizer, someone who is set to become a distinguished Toastmaster, because that is one of the criteria of becoming a DTM. So this is what Speechcraft offers in its entirety to Toastmasters, to non-Toastmasters, and to whosoever wants to learn something new. That's about the program that I wanted to share. So again, if you think that you want to get started with public speaking, this is your program. If you think you want to get started with mentorship or coaching, this is your program. If you want to get started with leadership, this is your program. And in case you want to just serve and learn to be a better person, this is your program. This is the program. Thank you. The floor is open for questions. I don't see any questions in the chat so far. Anyone who would like to ask a question? Yes, Vani.
Hi, Nancy. So I really like the whole Speechcraft program, the speech that you mentioned. I wanted to ask you that what actually motivated you in the first place when you initially started with Speechcraft, and when you got, when you got that motivation that no, I want to impact people's life apart from a person being a Toastmaster and introduce them to Toastmasters. So what motivated you to do
That's a very pertinent question here because when I have to think about my motivation, sometimes I struggle with a lot of thoughts. What exactly is that pinpointing factor that was motivating me? But I've got a couple of things that motivated me. Last year, when we started off with season one, that time I was already district educom lead. I was thinking of training the entire district. What is it that we can do further apart from Toastmasters, and we can bring some benefit to the Toastmasters, to the non-Toastmasters, to the fraternity. And that's where Speechcraft is a window for outer people, the external people, to understand what Toastmasters is within 8 weeks. And that's where this idea started from. But what motivated me, I have been a soft skills trainer myself, a corporate trainer, a behavioral coach. And that's where I felt that Toastmasters has benefited me a lot. If I recollect my journey from day one, when I just joined Toastmasters out of the blue without any motivation and just to be a part of the group like a sheep. However, when I spent almost 1.5, 2 years by then when I started with Speechcraft, by that time, I understood that what I was and what I'm now. Someone who's answering you right now for this question and answer round, probably I would have fumbled, I would have fidgeted way too much due to anxiety in my early days of training, in my early days of public speaking. That's where I felt that IMPA is a fraternity where I would like to give it back to the fraternity. I've been there on one side of it, and I've been there on the other side of it, and I would like to bridge that gap. And that's where I felt that Speechcraft is the answer. And that was my motivation to get started with this. Since we had beautiful results last year, this year I couldn't help but to go ahead with this program by hook or by crook, that this time, no matter what, at least we need to launch it. There were other factors that came into play, like I said, the benefits which are there as a Toastmaster, as a non-Toastmaster. Apart from that, the other factors like the club funding. I remember 2 weeks back when we were talking in the XCOM meeting, we were struggling with the funds for Durga Puja stall, and that's where we felt that, okay, Speechcraft is one of the solutions for this. Let me ask you this. If I ask you all right now, we have 19 participants. If I say we need to raise 40,000 by end of this month, and since we have almost 20 members, can you all pay me 2,000 per member? Would you all agree? Probably.
No.
I can already see Prabha smiling. Dhwani has already answered it. Toastmaster Samita is smiling too. Nobody would like to pay out of the blue. Although this is a club event, yet we need to think of other sources. And that is where Speechcraft was another, this was another factor for me to answer why Speechcraft and what was my motivation. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dhwani. Any other questions?
What was the experience like last season? Like last season, I think so you had 2 batches, right?
5.
5 batches. And this year?
This year, again, we have 5 batches. It's just the number of participants is more. What was the experience like as a program coordinator? That was completely new for me. I have handled Speechcraft programs for Yahoo, for Kongsberg. These are 2 organizations I've worked with, and there were hardly 5 participants at a stretch for one program each. And handling a batch as a coordinator myself was much easier than handling a batch of 5 coordinators who were handling a batch of 25 people. So for me, I would say overall, I learned a lot. I completed a project on lessons learned where I connected with Speechcraft coordinators. I took their learnings. I understood where I can improve as a leader if I need to guide other people as a for their coordinator role, if I need to help them with resources. On top of that, if I be very honest and frank here, last year, the website was not working when we launched the program, which means the portal was not up. And that was a known problem. Despite that, we launched the program And I relied on the resources that I collected from my previous programs that I had attended, I had been a coordinator for. Putting it all together, despite the challenges, we have you, Toastmaster Samita, as one of the Toastmasters with us today, thriving in this Toastmasters arena, starting from Speech Crafters arena. I must say, I'm proud. I must say the experience overall is very beautiful. It was enriching, despite the challenges that we had throughout the tenure. I learned a lot, and that's what I cherish the most.
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question.
That answers.
Thank you so much for your question. Anyone else? Any other questions? If you are interested to know more about Speechcraft, what to do, what not to do. Okay, in the meanwhile, you're framing up your questions. I would say, in case you are interested to know more about Speechcraft, you can always reach out to me. I'm also the VP Education of the group. You can find my contact. I can share my contact in the group, in the chat box right now. If you are ready to join, keen to join Speechcraft program as a participant, or even as a role taker, we are good with either ways. We need your support to run these programs. I have got a question from Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Toastmaster Bindhu, I'll reach out to you next after Chitrakshi. Okay, Chitrakshi.
Thank you. My question is that how do you take out time for this as a coordinator also? How do you manage all the roles? How do you manage the role takers, the mentors, and how do you really become a speech coordinator? How do you make it easy?
Okay, if you ask me as a program coordinator, how do I take out time for this? Or I'll answer this question in two ways. One, as a program coordinator, how do I take out time? And as a Speechcraft coordinator, how you can take out time for this entire session. So I understand your question is coming from two different verticals. For me as a program coordinator, how do I take out time? Last time when I picked up this role as a program coordinator, it took a lot of my time in understanding how to go about it. Like I said, there were a couple of challenges and I needed to figure out ways to overcome those challenges before I could reach out a stage how to guide Speechcraft coordinators. So before that, all those challenges, it took a lot of my bandwidth. And frankly speaking, last year I had ample time. This time I'm juggling with a lot of stuff on my plate. However, I'm really, really happy to have a very good team of Speechcraft coordinators who are all set to take up their badges from this week onwards. Having said that, I would say that the art of delegation, this is what I learned last year, what to delegate, what are the tasks that you need to leave to other people and what are the tasks you need to handle yourself as a leader. This I learned last year. That's the reason I struggled since I didn't know this already. This year, I'm already set with delegation. I'm already set with training other coordinators so that they are well to do with their job. They are all prepped up. They are all ready to do it. Now, coming to the part where it's about you as a Speechcraft coordinator, how you can handle it when it comes to your time management. I would say that, again, if you spend enough time in understanding what this program is all about and what are the resources you will need, your half the job is done. If you know you need 5 mentors or 5 role takers, you have already spoken to those 5 members to help you with this entire program. You are sorted. You don't need to run behind different people every week to find role takers. And you don't need to run behind your program coordinator for answers if you have gone through the content yourself, taken up time to prep with some of the things that are already there on the book. So that will help you more as a coordinator. Does that answer your question, Chitrakshi?
Yes, the rest I'll take up offline. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes, Toastmaster Bindhu will take this one last question since we already are on the yellow part.
Nancy, you partly answered the question. It was about lessons learned, but I'll put the second part of the question. How do you plan to make season 2 better than season 1?
Since you've already asked about lessons learned, I would say that part of the learning was for me to learn the art of delegation. That's where I have already planned to find the role takers, the coordinators beforehand. Last time I struggled with it because we launched the program, we had the participants, we asked them their batch preference. Then there were a lot of questions around whether I should go for this batch, whether I should go for that batch. So the planning phase itself was a mess. And this time, what we have done better in terms of planning is we launched a form where we have given them 5 batch preferences that you either pick one of these or you leave the choices any of the above. We will shift you in the batches. So that planning itself helped us cut down a lot of our mental bandwidth and a lot of our, how do I say, not just mental bandwidth, but time management also was better. Last year, I was taking calls at 6 in the morning, at 12 in the night, explaining everyone about speechcraft. So this year, that planning in a better way helped us answer those questions through promos and get the registrations through the registration link. That way, half the work was done. Now, experience how we can make it better. I would rather leave it to coordinators' discretion because every coordinator comes up with their own set of learning. And I would want them to explore this so that they are very well versed with their own lessons learned when they speak their experience next year. Hope that answers your question, Toastmaster Bindhu. All right, thank you so much for learning about speechcraft with me and asking your questions. I'm totally feeling good about explaining all these points with you, but I'll be feeling better if you can come back with more questions offline with me. In the interest of time, I need to pause it here and hand it over back to Toastmaster of the Day. I'll be leaving my contact in the group chat box right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy, for bringing this up and motivating everyone for this. I remember asking you about the same some time ago, and today you have explained it really, really well. And if I were a guest here, I would have totally joined Speechcraft program, because when I was a guest, I was always wondering how I'm going to craft my speeches, because I was hearing so many great speeches here in Gabbys. A big round of applause to you. All right. So our next speaker, speaker number 4, she is a MBA and a management consultant at Accenture Strategy. She is bibliophile, gardening enthusiast, fitness freak, and a baker. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Monica Ashwini. Toastmaster Monica is attempting her reflect on your path project from the path presentation mastery. And the purpose of this project is the member to reflect on his or her growth during the completion of an entire path. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her growth during the completion of a path. Timer, please note the speech length is 10 to 12 minutes. Toastmaster Lakshmi Sujata, you will be evaluating Toastmaster Monica. Can you please confirm your presence?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Toastmaster Monica, run your own race. Run your own race, Toastmaster Monica.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prabha. I hope you can hear me well. A thought-provoking quote suggests that in order to find your ikigai, you must be willing to explore new opportunities and embrace change. When I started my Toastmasters journey with my first path as presentation mastery, I was and still am in awe of the Japanese culture and traditions. I used to parse through a plethora of books encapsulating aspects of Japanese culture. May I ask, do any of you know the meaning of ikigai? Can I see a raise of hands? Can I see a show of hands, please? Yes, I see TM Sarvanan. Would you please go ahead? If you know what does ikigai mean, would you mind telling me what is your ikigai?
My ikigai still I'm searching for, but ikigai is what we interested, what we are good at, we are doing it. So
Okay.
that's called ikigai, and yeah. So Japanese do whatever they love, and they do the same. So that's why they live long.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well said. I also see TM Vipin raising his hand. I think you're on mute.
Yeah. So ikigai essentially means your piece, maybe a piece or activity or a profession wherein you essentially find your piece. So that's what ikigai means.
Yeah, wherein you most essentially display your energy into.
Right.
Yeah. Anyone else who wants to give it a try? Yes, I see TM Bindhu.
I think Ikigai is more about flow rather than anything else. You reach an area which it's so blissful. You enjoy doing what you do so much that it just flows. That would be my definition of Ikigai.
Very rightly said. I can see the passion. Anyone else who wants to give it another try?
I feel Ikigai is something you're passionate about, something which you will be doing irrespective of whether you are getting paid for it, not getting paid for it. You just love, you simply love doing it, and you want to do it for the rest of your life.
Wonderful, wonderful. So many different aspects of Ikigai, so many different meanings of Ikigai. Anyone else? I will take a pause again. Anyone else who wants to give it a try? Okay. Okay. So, as you all very rightly said, that Ikigai is that one thing in our lives that provides a delicious richness. It is a kind of motivation, or as the French say, it's the raison d'etre of our lives, of our very existence. There is an innate tendency amongst all of us to persevere and accomplish things in our lives. I might say that those are milestones in our life. That's the power of human species, right? We collaborate and we learn. However, the intensity of this thought of ikigai to get converted into action may vary amongst all of us at various junctures of our lives. For me, it has always been public speaking and building confidence in my very own personality. And that made me join Toastmasters in the year January 2022. My first club was the Gurgaon Orators Toastmasters Club. I completed a couple of presentation mastery levels over there, and it was beautiful, straddling across various kinds of experiences that I had over there. Soon afterwards, I gathered immense courage to join the Gabbys as a returning mother in August 2023. And I wanted to give the best to myself post my maternity break. Do I sound selfish? No, I don't think so. In the beginning, I used to think, what am I doing here? I should rather relax. I should take a break. My baby needs my time. I'm having those sleepless nights. Just take a break and relax. But Gabbys and the brilliant orators who possess the gift of the gab over here, such as TM Sourav, TM Nagesh, TM Dhwani, TM Neeta, TM Nancy, TM Chitrakshi, they gave me the utmost credence to join Toastmasters, to rejoin Toastmasters. I'll mainly talk about my journey at the Gabbys as it provided me the vivacious energy needed to attend meetings with immense zeal. I was assigned a mentor and I was asked to highlight my aspirations and expectations inside and outside of Toastmasters. What a beautiful thought. When my mentor TM Sourav asked me this question, I was in awe of this question. So he asked me, what do you expect out of Toastmasters? That's fine. But what do you expect outside of Toastmasters is something that mesmerized me. That is something that I'm still trying to figure out. Probably after this reflect on my path project, I shall be able to decipher that. So I delved into a plethora of speeches, such as speaking about motherhood journey, where I literally had goosebumps. I literally had goosebumps and felt teary-eyed while writing and delivering that speech. I spoke about how these gusts of inspiration that helped me discover my life-changing passion of reading, non-fiction, writing, being a dilettante writer, and discovering yoga. And the jewel in the crown was the project managing a difficult audience. Oh my God. What a tough project. How scary, how petrified I was. Oh my God, I can't even begin to explain you. It taught me various things. It taught me various things to keep my calm and composure, to take pauses while delivering my speech, and most importantly, to listen to my fellow Toastmasters. That's the biggest change that I have brought within myself after joining Toastmasters. My listening ability has significantly improved. Even after being an MBA, one must always learn and gather management skills. Projects such as volunteering for an organization, acting as the table topic master at one of the meetings were moments that helped me become a team player and nourish my alliances. I'll talk about the obstacles that I faced during my Toastmasters journey. In my learning expedition, it was my own struggle to deliver impromptu speeches. The content, the delivery style, the confidence, everything used to petrify me earlier. I feel I have come a long way, and I feel that I have made some headway here. I used to actively participate in table topic sessions to get my stride ahead, to understand, to analyze whether I am improving in this aspect or not. Another hurdle that I encountered was with respect to delivering speeches online, whether the camera position is right, whether the posture is right, everything. And the biggest of all, the dreaded bringing humor into my speech. I'm a Gemini. I'm not humorous at all. I generally come across as a very serious kind of a person, though I'm not serious inside. But humor is something that I always used to lack in my speech. So what did I do? How did I improve? Any guesses? How did I improve? Okay, so I'll just give it a try. In the beginning, I spoke about the Japanese culture. And I'm going to bring another concept of Japanese culture over here named as wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi means embracing your imperfections and keep on learning. Find perfection in your imperfections. Stop humming and howing about them. So, as I said, what did I do? I deliberately showcased my wide-toothed smile in every speech. That's how I slowly improved and brought in humor in my speeches. So based on my thoughts and feedback, I tried to analyze at the end of my path completion. And the results of my analysis were that besides hard work, one thing is very, very important, and that is consistency. Be consistent in your Toastmasters journey. Complete every project with utmost diligence. And secondly, effectively use all the features of your pathway framework. Whatever is written in that 15-20 slider in that deck, take each and every point very seriously and incorporate it in your speech. So my action plan is something that is based on this learning itself. I plan to complete my next path, which is probably going to be visionary communication. I plan to complete it in another 3 months by effectively using all the features of the Pathway Framework program. Lastly, how would I counsel my fellow Toastmasters? What would I give them as a piece of learning? Number one, budge one step at a time. take it slowly, take it very seriously and diligently, and complete one project, one speech at a time. And secondly, take that damn feedback, that damn evaluation very, very seriously. So, salute and immense gratitude to the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. You have made me a better public speaker. You have brought me one step closer to my writing journey. I am more confident when I write my blogs, when I write my speeches on Medium. And I would want to conclude this speech by a short poem named as haiku. It is said as haiku in Japanese. So it essentially means that it is a 3-line poem. The first and the last line consist of 5 syllables, and the middle line consists of 7 syllables. So here is my failed or tried or a struggling attempt at haiku. A learner spurring into the ocean of creativity. A learner spurring into the ocean of creativity, still not an impeccable hustler. Still not an impeccable hustler. And that's me. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Prabha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica, for your path breaker speech. I'm sure we all are motivated to complete the paths as soon as possible and with serious diligence and dedication that you have shown today. Can we have everyone on the camera and give standing ovation for the path breaker speech to Toastmaster Monica? Since we have a path breaker speech today, we won't be having any polls for the prepared speakers. All right, so now how about a short break for 5 minutes before we jump into the panel discussion, which is also a part of prepared speeches, and we will be back by 8:06. Hi, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic break with this song. I was totally grooving with this music and the lyrics also. It is totally matching with our kind of speeches we are having today. Gajab ka hai din. Yes, it is. So is everyone back and ready to roll? Give me a thumbs up or wave up if you are here, especially speakers and evaluators. All right. Okay.
I'm there.
Okay. All right. Then we are ready with our next speaker and the Power Pack panel discussion. So our next speaker is someone who has 30 plus years of experience in academia as a principal and now as a trainer. She is the mother of 2 wonderful children, and one of them, her son, Souvik, introduced her to Toastmasters. Please put your hands together for Toastmasters Samita. Toastmaster Samita is attempting her level 5 elective project, which is moderate a panel discussion from the Path Presentation Mastery. And the purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her skills as a public speaker and leader to facilitate a panel discussion. Timer, please note the speech length is 20 to 40 minutes. Distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta, you will be evaluating Toastmaster Samita. Can you please confirm your presence? Distinguished Toastmaster Sourav.
Toastmaster Prabha, I don't see him in the room. Probably he'll be joining in another minute or so. In the meanwhile, if there's anything, I'll make points and I'll share it with DTM Sourav.
Okay. Shall I start or should I wait for a minute?
No, we can get started.
All right. Toastmasters, Samita, soft skills at workplace, Toastmasters, Samita. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the discussion on soft skills at the workplace. Soft skills, what are those? Those are those skills that help you negotiate in your workplace effectively. They are often called as people skills. Today, it's a tech crazy era. You see tech everywhere. And the significance of soft skill, it has never been greater. Soft skill is actually the oil that makes the machine move smoothly. We may have all the knowledge in the world, but when it comes to implement it, we need our team and we need to explain it to them. There, effective communication comes to play. Workers are very good, very smart, very efficient, but they never give your project on time. Time management is needed for them. Teams are to be built, every person's individual traits to be taken into account. Interpersonal skill can save you a lot of headache in form of conflicts later on. If you know what to delegate, you will be a happy boss indeed. Soft skill is like that salt in a dish. You rarely see it, and that makes it all the more tasty. In Toastmasters, we use all form of communication, verbal, non-verbal, listening, asking questions, and of course, leadership skills. So let us meet a panelist today. And before that, you are free to ask any questions at the end of the session, or you can use the chat box. Let us welcome our panelist. The first panelist. She is at present pursuing her MTech in medical imaging and informatics. She is a student at IIT Kharagpur who has a 5+ years at the corporate as a business operation associate in the ZS Associates. She has participated and won numerous academic and sporting events. Let us put our hands together for Preeti Mukherjee. Welcome, Preeti.
Hello, Toastmasters and all the guests on the panel today. I'm really excited to meet all of you and to be communicating with all of you today.
Our second panelist is a sales professional and an avid fitness enthusiast. He has an experience of more than 5 years and at present is working as a key account manager with Bharti Ed. His hobbies are hiking. Hiking where? Climbing up those remote, inaccessible places of Maharashtra forts, making lovely videos, and letting us mere mortals who don't want to go there have a glimpse of those glorious structures. He is also into parasailing. He is none other than Vipin Timande. Let us put our hands together to welcome Vipin. And the
Hello,
third.
everyone.
Yes, Vipin. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Samita. Hello, everyone. Glad to meet you all and very excited for this discussion.
Our third panelist is an budding entrepreneur who is the COO of Sakshi Garments, is the owner of an apparel brand. She is also into writing research papers on women's entrepreneurship, challenges and opportunities in social science magazines. She had sponsored the garments for Mr. and Mrs. Maharashtra pageant. She is Barkha Shende. Let us welcome Barkha with a round of applause.
Hello everyone. So excited to be here and we'll definitely see you in the discussion. Yeah, thank you so much.
Soft skills, as we all know, that is essential in the workplace. So First, I want to ask panelist one, what is a soft skill that you need in your field?
I think moving from a very fast-paced corporate life to coming into academia, I think for me, one of the very key soft skill to hone was listening. Much too often, I think in a conversation, we tend to forget that we not only need to communicate what we need, but we also need to listen to the other party in the discussion, because I feel like when we say bridging the gap in communication or trying to understand clearly what the other party is trying to say, listening is something that is very important in that aspect. So over my 5 years of experience, I would say listening was something that has been very crucial to my skill set.
Thank you. Vipin, can you highlight what are the soft skills that you needed in your area?
There are a couple of soft skills that were really essential. The first one being communication skills. As a sales professional, you definitely need to talk to multiple people within your organization, as well as your customers and other stakeholders. Second one is working in a team. Being able to work with multiple people from different backgrounds, different ownerships, right? So these were the two essential skills that I would highlight that were very much required.
I would like to ask Barkha, in your profession, which other soft skills do you feel that you need most?
Soft skills have been greatly impacted my career because they were crucial. Soft skills were crucial as well as the technical skills were the same as well. But in the soft skills, looking after, as what the Vipin said, effective communication is something which is very major. As being a business owner, you have to completely understand your customer. You need to listen them. You need to convey your ideas. You need to convince your clients. You need to talk to various vendors and your customers and clients. So communication is very major thing when it is about your business. Next, I feel is financial literacy, because when you're owning your business, you need to understand the cash flows. You need to know where to cost cut. You need to understand the profits. So that is something, being a business owner, and especially when it's garment, you need to think of these little soft skills which are required.
Thank you. I will go back to panelist one to ask, what do you feel, which soft skill will be essential for success? If you want to be successful as a student today, or you'll be joining back in your organization later, you can highlight which soft skills do you feel will be very essential for your success?
Definitely, Samita. I think what I would say is very essential for someone who is going to climb the corporate ladder at some point in their life is to understand that you are not going to be at it alone. You will always have group of people surrounding you. And I would say your success is measured by how successful everyone else around you is. And for that to happen, I think you need to have really great leadership skills. You need to be able to understand not just what you need to do, but what everyone else needs to do as well, and to be able to guide them and support them to the best of your ability. And one of the very important thing that also accompanies leadership, I would say, is empathy. I think we have all recently seen very challenging times, and I have gone through them in my corporate life as well. And I was very new to being in a senior position, managing a group of 5 to 8 associates under me. And that's when COVID hit. And for us to all just pack our bags and go back home and to be able to adapt to that new situation, I had to be very mindful of the fact that not all of us come from the same backgrounds. We don't have the same family lives. And we had to be mindful of that. We had to be very empathetic towards everyone's personal lives and their situations. So I would say leadership accompanied with empathy is something that is very crucial going forward.
Very well highlighted, very well highlighted. Leadership skills, we all aspire to become leaders, but a crucial aspect of that is being empathetic toward the people who you are working with and understanding their challenges, understanding where they're coming from and what they are lacking in, and listening to them, as you had highlighted before this, that listening to what they are speaking with empathy. Really well said. I'll go to panelist to Vipin. What do you think, because you are a fitness enthusiast and a sales professional, which are those skills you feel that is essential for both the fields?
Essentially, for both these fields, there are a couple of skills which I feel are important. First one is, perseverance. Perseverance in, doing what you are doing. For example, as a fitness enthusiast, what I've discovered is in everyone's interest, if you want to do a 100 kg squat, and if you are at a 50 kg today, you cannot jump there in a day or so. You have to adapt day by day and show up every day. So it's about going there every day, following the process, and reaching your goals. Similar things are relevant in the professional career as well. As a sales professional, if you are not able to bring in enough sales, you have to make those cold calls. You have to visit those customers, write emails, talk to people, go out there. So sales is a process altogether. It has nothing to do with how flamboyant you are, how good you are in speaking. It is more about a process to be followed and a product to be sold. So I believe being there, showing up, being disciplined enough to execute certain process would definitely bring in success. So that has been one of the key areas. Second one to highlight,
Yes.
would be decision making. So as I have been a part of a lot of adventure sports activities, it is crucial to make right decisions at right point in time, looking and being aware of situations around us. So as an adventurer, I am a paragliding pilot, and it is essential to know your limits and make right decisions at right point in time to ensure safety. Similarly, as a sales and a business development professional, it is important to know your boundaries, know the margins and all that. As a professional, you need to keep in mind and make decisions accordingly. So I believe the passion and profession go hand in hand as you progress in your career.
Very well said. That your passion and your profession both need similar kind of discipline, consistency, and dedication. Discipline, both in your cold calls, definitely. And of course, when you are up in the air, you need to make that decision whether this is safe or not safe. That split-second decision will help you land safely. And the decision that you take in your sales on how to proceed will definitely help you bring in more sales. Very well said. I'll go to Barkha now. Barkha, what do you think will be that essential soft skill for your industry? Essential, like you have to have them if you want to be successful in your industry.
So, as you said, universally essential, or you can say the major essential thing is for someone with a garment brand, or if you're owning a company, you need to understand your niche. Because when you're developing your brand, you need to stand out from others. So, first of all, for the budding entrepreneur, you need to know what your brand is, what your products are, what your ranges are, so that you can convince your clients, your customer very well. Second, very important is being proactive, because this is something you cannot learn of every processes. It's a meanwhile process. You're on ground floor, you're in the production process, you're learning. If you're in designing, you're learning. You're going out, you're learning. So you cannot hesitate. You cannot hesitate in asking others about, how these processes are, because you need to know each and every process if you want to lead a very good company. And for me, it is very personal. I believe this thing. If you want to sustain, if you want to stay there, so essentially you need to think of future. And future is about sustainability. If you want to keep your brand alive forever, you need to think of the quality. So looking after the very minute details, how you cannot leave anything like, okay, the general manager is there, he'll look after it. You're just the owner, you're sitting in the room. It cannot happen. You need to be very minute in all the processes and keen in those things. So sustainability is one thing, because nature is future. So you need to, embrace sustainability as well. So these are few things I believe, that's essential.
Yeah. So we basically need to have a continuous learning mindset where we are learning every single day, and we need to be very mindful of what we are doing, how we are doing, because as you said, nature is what we are looking at, and we have to be sustainable at every point of time. I'll come back to Preeti. You are someone with expertise in both the field. Tell me, if someone wants to join a job right at present, and then think of going for studies after 2 to 3 years, what are those skills that a student and a professional should keep in mind that they should be honing the skills they want to switch, either from a business perspective to becoming a student, or from a student perspective, joining the business stream?
An excellent question, Samita. I think what most of us really need to think about when making that switch, either ways, is to understand that it cannot just be a trend that we are following, or just because our friends are doing it, we should be doing it. I think what's really important is to understand what we need to do. I think ikigai is something I would like to call back here, because it's something that you have to be passionate about. Your goals need to align in the direction that you're going. So if you're going to become a student again, you need to know what your goals are, not just one semester at a time. It has to be a long-term goal. What after? If it's a 2 years course, what after? And how are you going to achieve it? So a goal-oriented mindset, and obviously working towards it every single day, is going to be very important. But more than that, it's going to be about being adaptive and very flexible. Obviously, once you have worked for a certain amount of time and you're going back to education, you're not earning again. You're giving up a good amount of monthly income and a lifestyle that you had built. So that is going to be very challenging to navigate. And again, be prepared for that. It is going to be challenging, obviously. But more than that, it's about how do you train your mind to be able to sit in a 3-hour exam again, and to be able to give that and clear that successfully. So I would say being very adaptive and flexible to change, because obviously change is the only thing constant. It's something that we have been hearing about for all our lives. So being adaptive to that, making yourself flexible and making yourself, honing those skills consistently and not giving up. Persevere through it and work towards your goals.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that one is your decision-making skill. Do you want to come back to education once again? Because as you rightly pointed out, you will be giving up a chunk of your salary, your lifestyle. You have to come back, sit, study, appear for exam, become a student again. Are you ready? And if you are ready, mentally you have to be prepared to be flexible, one. And second, adapt to the new lifestyle. Come back to that student mode again. So flexibility and adaptability will be very crucial for anyone who wants to come back as a student after a few years in corporate and reskill themselves. So Vipin, For you, I'll be asking you, fitness is all about dedication. You have pointed out how in fitness you need discipline, you need dedication. Can you highlight one essential skill, only one, prioritize one soft skill, which will be for both your field of sales and in the field of your hobby? One essential skill, if you have to prioritize, what would that be?
I would say it will be about being extroverted. And what I mean by being extroverted is, as a natural human being, we have a nature. I mean, someone can be introverted, not very outgoing, tends to be reserved. But in any of these fields, be it fitness or be it sales, it is important that you talk to other people, you show yourself out there. And this is essential to A, succeed, B, also gain, the real knowledge in those particular fields. In sales, you have to talk to multiple people, be it various hierarchies in a of a particular customer, be it a vice president, be it a business director, right? So you have to be outgoing and approach them proactively so that you get the essential inputs and information to succeed in sales. Similarly, in fitness, the right knowledge is important. There are people teaching multiple things out there, but to know the right knowledge, you have to talk to the right people. You have to be communicating and sharing that knowledge, that what you're practicing. So being extroverted, being outgoing, and being out there to discuss everything with people in that particular field is pretty much essential. So that is one particular skill which is essential in both the fields.
Okay, what I hear from you is that being extroverted, whether you are really an introvert person or an extrovert person, you need to be extroverted for both the areas of your life, your hobbies and your sales profession. So even if you are an introvert person, it doesn't matter. If you can skill yourself up, you can go for the job. Yes.
Totally.
Barkha, I'll be asking you that business can be very stressful and it is full of uncertainty, like we saw during COVID. And since you have an apparel business, definitely it was a very stressful time. Can you give us an example of how did you manage during that time? What skills did you use there to manage your business during that time?
Yes, ma'am. I can very well remember that COVID time when it was very important consignment of ours of an very big company of MNC, and it was very tough situation when we were facing labor issues and everyone were flown back to their own states. So at that time, it was decision making, a very strong decision making skill set which was required to decide that all right, the production house has to be shifted to the place where our labors belonged. And then that time, because it was very time strained, the restoration of it was very restricted time frame we had. So at that moment we decided to shift, get your fabrics from another state, shifting it to another state, and all the labors and the people working over there, the production house shifting over there, and then we are receiving all the orders to another state and getting it, checked, and the QC is happening over there, and then we are branding and sending to the company. So that was the situation when I remember was stressful, but yes, with proper decision making and teamwork, because we really had a good team, that I could send my manager to that state to check the quality, and so that I could assure it to the company that we could be delivering it successfully in the given time frame. So yes, that was very stressful. Yes, yes.
Business is uncertain. Sometimes you have a good run. Sometimes there are problems, especially during COVID. We saw there was a lot of uncertainty around. And now, as you were saying, that 3 states you had to procure from some place, send it somewhere, bring it back, brand it, send it to some other MNCs where they were waiting. You had time constraint, you had labor constraint, but every moment you had to take a decision which will take you to the next step. And definitely those were challenging, and I'm very sure you must have never done that before. So it was a very new experience. COVID really made us very flexible, and it actually made us rethink our priorities, where thinking about what to do at that moment became important, and that thinking skills, thinking hat we had to put on to go from our day-to-day lives. I would like to ask, to sum up, you all have all spoken about the different skills that you need in your own field and how to be successful. The summing up I will be asking is that, Preeti, can you tell me what are the 2 skills that a business, sorry, not a business person, a person who wants to go for a job today is applying for a job. What are the 2 skills that a person should hone and be ready with?
I think obviously whenever someone is preparing for a job, they are very focused on just making sure that the technical skills are right. We would always look at the job description on any portal of a company and we would think, oh, okay, I need to have XYZ in my resume, and then we are good. But what they don't anticipate is the first step to applying for a job interview and to getting a job is to pass an interview. You have to have a conversation and you have to sell yourself. So obviously build that confidence within yourself while you're working on your skill set, and learn to communicate that well. You can be an excellent student. You can have some of the best skill sets in the industry. But if in those 30 to 45 minutes, you're unable to communicate your skill set to the person interviewing you, I think that would become a very lose-lose situation for you. So I would say continue to work on your communication, because you are your own brand and you need to sell yourself in a very short amount of time. So work on communication. And I would again tell you to work on empathy as well, because at the end of the day, you're going to be working with a team of people, and not all of us come from the same background. Not all of us have the same skill sets even. And we need to be able to manage resources really well. And people are resources in a corporate setting. So yes, I would say be empathetic and work on your communication skills.
Thank you. Vipin, I'll be asking you the same question, that today, if someone wants to become a salesperson, is applying for a job in sales, what will your recommendation be? What are the skill set that the person needs to hone before they go for the interview?
I'll try to put a couple of skills that are needed, and I'll agree with Preeti, as in communication skills is something very essential for every job. So does it happen with sales. So since we all are professionals here, worked in some or the other field today, and there has been some survey as well that even if you are a techie or person hired for a certain job, your job is 80% of in-person interaction, communication with others, and it is just 20% of your technical part. In fact, even if you are very good at your technical part, and if you're not able to communicate, maybe you will be labeled as a failure in that particular role. So communication skills, I'll agree with Preeti, is one of the most essential skills to be successful in any career, not in sales, but in any career as such. Specific to sales, I would again come back to the ability to work in a team. As a sales professional, you are a face of a company. I mean, the customer looks forward to you as a representative of a company. So any challenges faced by the customer, be it with the product, be it with the billing, be it with the post-sale services, be it with the pricing, right? You have to not only talk with the customer, but also with the internal team members, be it the finance guy, be it the production support person, be it the legal team, right? And all these people are from different backgrounds, from different age groups, from different experiences. And to be able to work with them, you definitely need that team working ability. And if at all I have to give inputs in terms of how you build those team working abilities, is to participate in group discussions like the Toastmasters group. For me personally, I have been into a lot of adventure camps. I was a part of the NCC, right? So those outdoor activities which challenge you to work with multiple people, right, really builds these skills. So communication skills and team working ability is the one which I would like to summarize.
Thank you. Barkha, I would ask you the same question. If today someone wants to start a business, what are those skills a person should have before thinking of starting a business?
Yes, it will start with being resilient, because when you understand, you know that there are gonna be various kinds of rejections, there are gonna be failures. It's just to make yourself sure that everything is not very, glorifying and blooming, because as you can see on the social media, on the websites, the screening part, everything looks good. But the major back pain or the major backside is when you have to, deal with the regular ups and downs, regular challenges are there. So particularly if you think that, okay, this skill set is very important, or you can prioritize, but being an owner, you just cannot prioritize whether it is communication, whether it is being adaptability or being leadership. You have to be everything, because you don't know, every day is surprising for you. So what challenges will be there for the next minute, you cannot say. So being resilient for that matter is when you have to, keep updating yourself with the fluctuating market, because the trends, it's every day it's trending, new thing is coming up. So that is one thing. Second is also in resilience, that is also one thing, is the production challenges are there. You have to deal with the different qualities, different supply chain disruptions are there, you have delays. So dealing with these things. Second is adaptability, because garment industry is trending. It's an evergreen thing. You have to, keep thinking out of box. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative every time. So using of new technologies are there, advancement in the upcoming, your productions and your designing part. You have to keep on looking after what's going on, what's trending outside. So that is one thing which is very much required. So, and the third important point is your customers, because you are, doing it for your customers. So you need to know that are they satisfied, are they not? You need to take feedbacks, you need to engage them. So being resilient, adaptability is like an armor. So you have to learn from your experiences, you have to evolve this ever-changing market. And these soft skills, this empower entrepreneurs not only to survive, but also to face the uncertainty and stress which is coming. So yes, I would sum up that way.
Very well summed up, that business, if you are thinking, you need a bunch of skills. You can't have one or the other. The whole package is there, and you need to be resilient enough to find out what is the challenge that day. Do you need to solve a problem? Do you need to communicate well? Do you need to find out the market? You need to be creative and bring out new designs. You need to decide for yourself before you can take your business forward. And for that, you need to be resilient every single day, showing up, whether it's doing good or your business is not doing that good. But that end goal in mind, that I need my business to thrive, all these soft skills will be put into use every single day. Very well said. I would open the floor if anyone has any questions. Our panelists are there to answer. Okay. I don't see anyone in the chat. Also, we do not have any questions. To sum up, I will be saying that after listening to three different panelists, what we could summarize as that one, communication skills are very important. Let it be listening or your verbal communication. Effective communication is very essential. Second, each type of job has its own soft skills that you need to hone. If it is a business, you need to have a bunch of skills which every single day you will be tested, and you should be resilient enough to make sure you are showing up every day. For being a student, again, after a few years of experience, if you're planning to take that plunge, be ready to adapt, be ready to learn, relearn every single day. And if you are into a sales profession, you want to be into sales profession, make sure you are doing team building activities. Now, those activities will help you to manage a team when you are going for sales. So thank you so much. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Vipin. And thank you, Barkha, for joining me in this wonderful panel discussion that we had. Yes, soft skills are definitely needed in workplace, and all the soft skills that you all have highlighted is very essential to be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure discussing
Yeah.
your opinions.
Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Samita, for conducting that wonderful and interesting panel discussion with amazing panelists coming from different disciplines. Today, we all know what soft skills are and why they are essential to climb up in one's career faster and effectively. So there will be no polling done for the best speaker, prepared speaker, as we had a pathbreaker speech delivered by one of our speakers. In Gabbys, we follow a tradition that if we have a icebreaker or pathbreaker speech, we don't conduct a polling for best prepared speaker. Now, moving on to the next section, which is the evaluation section, I would like to invite our first evaluator, Toastmaster Chetna, to evaluate our first speaker, Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Toastmaster Chetna is a loving mother, a passionate podcaster, and an avid student of human behavior and psychology. Over to you, Toastmaster Chetna. Can we have the speaker spotlight?
I'm here. My video is not getting switched on for some reason, but I'm right here.
Okay.
Looks like Toastmaster Chetna is facing some internet issue. I think her video is stuck.
Yeah.
Let's give her a moment.
You are on mute, Toastmaster Chetna. Toastmaster Chetna, would you like to come back maybe after the last evaluation? Or you are unable to unmute?
There is no settings on Zoom where you cannot unmute. Probably you want to drop off and join again, because the rights are there to unmute yourself. In the meanwhile, maybe we can move on with the next evaluator. Toastmaster Chetna, please try and come back. Okay, we can see you unmuted now.
Okay, so our next second evaluator evaluating Toastmaster Chaitanya is Toastmaster Shilpa. Toastmaster Shilpa is an ex-corporate, an entrepreneur by heart, a risk taker career-wise, a night owl, and compassionate capitalist at work. She is a travel buff and a music lover who enjoys riding bikes as well as cooking. Professionally, she is an image consultant and a corporate coach. Over to you, Toastmaster Shilpa.
Thank you so much, TMOD Prabha. I think it's time I changed my introduction a little bit. But Toastmaster Chaitanya, coming to your evaluation, the first thing that comes into my mind when we hear a word story is the storytelling that our grandmothers and mothers did during our childhood, right? So being a child, what did we want to experience? Why did we ask them to tell us stories? Because we wanted to visualize, we wanted to imagine, we wanted to feel and live that story in our own way. And wow, Toastmaster Chaitanya, I had goosebumps visualizing your story today. The best part is that you not only narrated your story so clear, but you made the audience feel what you have felt at that point of time through your words. I must agree that the choice of topic and the content was exemplary. You started with a question. There was enough introduction given on the topic that lured the audience into your story. I wouldn't highlight much, but I have to say this. I felt the body was a bit longer than required and the conclusion was a bit quick. I wanted to hear more. I wanted to know if that figure you were talking about was real. I wanted to know if you have ever doubted yourself about that figure. I wanted that conclusion to be more dramatic, which would have made the story more wholesome. Your body language in terms of hand gestures and the ease with which you delivered a story was excellent. However, I felt it would have been much better if you used the voice modulation to the extent the story demanded. Because Toastmaster Chaitanya, this is a real story. This is a beautiful story with alluring content. This is a story that we all want to hear. So it needed that balance with equal amount of drama in the form of mystery, in the form of fear, confusion, doubts, disbelief, and courage, right? Because of what you did, you went and got that thread by yourself. So I felt that emotion was missing in the story when you delivered the speech. For example, when you said, my brain was dumb, you sounded like, hey, dude, I missed that call. I meant you sounded very normal. So these were some areas where you could have paced down, higher or lower your voice, given a longer pause, let the audience feel the tension. So to summarize, Toastmaster Chaitanya, congratulations. You met the purpose by giving the speech that is your personal and fictional story. Content was befitting for the purpose. Let's work on the voice modulation, pauses at the right time. And how about you pick a challenge in the next speech to pace down a little bit and bring in more drama. And if it doesn't suit your style, it's all right. You can always go back to your original speech delivery style, right? So all the very best, Chaitanya, for your next speech. And what a story. I won't ever forget it in my life. And it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shilpa, for that wonderful evaluation.
Prabha, I'm back.
Yeah. So, all right. So maybe we can start with your evaluation.
Okay. So Chitrakshi, good evening, Toastmasters, and special hello to Chitrakshi. From the day I joined Gabbys, I've been watching your speeches a lot, and I always admired you, the way you present yourself. The three things which I liked most about today's speech was your narration part of it, and definitely the energy. The energy which you carry is contagious. And third part is your presentation. Every speech, especially the today's speech, the backdrop, your way of dressing up entirely was perfect. So coming to the purpose of this today's speech when it comes to the body language and voice modulation, there was excellent body language and the usage of gestures. But in somewhere I felt in between there was too much of usage of it, your hand gestures and all. And only the upper part of the body was visible, because of which I think I
was not able to entirely judge with respect to the entire body language part of it. Gestures, facial gestures was excellent. The usage of when you were sharing about the stressed and the second father, I mean the father was when your father's son, when he was stressed out, the usage of gestures was very beautifully, you have expressed that part of it. So, but when it comes to the voice modulation, what I felt personally was it was high, but again, it was not sinking into the certain places where you were using it. When you told about once upon a time when you started, it was so beautifully came till the you were speaking about your elder, the youngest son. So it became monotonous in between. So the usage of the voice modulation could have been better at certain places. At certain places, you have done an excellent job when you were telling that when the zombies came, hey, this is the person who was hating us. So that part I liked the most when you used the tone. That tone was excellent. So when it comes to the high and low mix of voice modulation, it could have been better. That is one part of it. On and whole, I always admire your energy. The presentation part of it and the narration part of it, it's excellent. And so all the best for the future speeches, Chitrakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chetna, for that wonderful evaluation. Now moving on to our third evaluator, evaluating distinguished Toastmaster Nancy is Toastmaster Bindhu Joseph. Toastmaster Bindhu Joseph is not only a consultant oncologist sharing her expertise with the prestigious Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology, but also a dedicated professor shaping the future of healthcare. Over to you, Toastmaster Bindhu.
Thank you. Nancy, to say that this evaluation was difficult for me was an understatement. Not only because you are the queen bee of Gabbys, not only because you are an exceptional communicator, but because speechcraft is something that is actually quite new to me. So I was quite overly engaged with the content. And let me tell you how you made that engagement even better. First, your confidence. You started out with laying out the ground rules. Q&A is going to be like this. Be prepared for your answers. Be crisp about it. That shows control. Very important when you are managing a Q&A session. Next comes your content. You used the technique, or let's say the tool of hypothetical engagement. You asked questions like, you framed the questions. Why do we need speechcraft? Why does Gabby need speechcraft? Why does Toastmasters need speechcraft? How is it going to benefit you? How is it going to benefit Gabbys? How is it going to benefit Toastmasters? So you had the question, you tickled our minds, but you didn't have to deal with the discrepancies of our inconsistencies of our tongues. You saved valuable time. Now, the most important part, you left enough time for question and answer, something which we often see, or I often see when people do this project, they do not leave enough time for that. And you left quite adequate time. Now, areas of improvement for this part, I would say you were confident in the beginning, but I might have preferred a little bit of a softer approach. Maybe an engaging title, a phrase or someone's quote on speechcraft, something to just, not be so abrupt. And then maybe around the fourth or fifth sentence, come to, okay, Q&A is going to be like that. The second, for this particular presentation or project, maybe a face-in-face, a picture-in-picture PPT might have been good because you have an agenda, you have a registration link, and you have a timetable. Now coming to the important part, how you handle the Q&A. You handled it beautifully. Your answers were elaborate, and I feel all the questioners were satisfied with the answers. But perhaps I think your answers were a bit too elaborate. Let's take the first question about what this means to you. You went at a personal level, interpersonal level, and then you went to club finances, which were not related at all. So when you have a Q&A, maybe not only time other people, time your responses as well. And one good way or easy way of doing this is ask the questioner which angle they want. You covered all angles. Maybe you might ask, is this what you want? You'll see a nod from the questioner, and then you can follow that angle. The last thing, what I really appreciated was how you answered my question. You linked the lessons learned with the vision, but it's not only that. You said it's not my vision, it's our vision. And you gave that responsibility to your other speech crafters. That was beautifully done, so generous of you. And that's why, Nancy, I'm going to look forward to be inspired by your future speeches. What I'm not going to look forward is to be your evaluator again. Tough task. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bindhu Joseph, for the wonderful evaluation. So now our next evaluator evaluating Toastmaster Monica Ashwini is Toastmaster Lakshmi Sujata. As a behavioral and leadership trainer, Toastmaster Lakshmi found her ikigai to her job with the Akshapatra Foundation. She facilitates training programs across India that upskill and motivate the frontline workers of her organization. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Hello, hi everyone, good evening, and a very good evening to my target speaker for the day. I must say, Reflect on Your Path was a true reflection on your path, because what I saw today were three things. And I'm telling it is a true reflection because previously I was your evaluator in another project, and I see that you have incorporated most of those feedback in this project. And that is exactly why I would like to appreciate you, because you are here, you have proved that you're here to learn. Let me tell you what are these points. I had mentioned that presentation mastery should be something where you are more engaging with the audience. And did I see it today? Yes, of course, there was a lot of engagement with the audience. Another feedback that I had, we had spoken about was to connect, to have an emotional side to the speech. Was it there? Yes, of course. When you spoke about coming back after your motherhood journey, that was really touching. And because I think that would have connected with a lot of mothers here who have tried to come back to achieve a lot of things after motherhood. And overall, what I saw, what I really liked about your speech today was, Monica, you didn't tell us the brief of each project at each level. Instead, you gave us an overall learning that you received from each level, which was brilliant. Just two feedback if I could give you, because you are an amazing speaker. One, as much as we think that the camera angle is not important or that is such a small feedback, I feel it is very important, especially in this online mode. Please adjust your camera angle to a way that there is not too much space left above your head. We didn't want to see the ceiling. I wish I could see more of your body language, which was like totally getting cut off because of the camera angle. The second thing that I wanted to suggest here is your voice. So what I did was I stopped looking at the screen and I was just listening to you speak. When I did that, I felt like there was a lot of monotone voice in your speech. The highs and lows were missing in areas where you were speaking about probably your motherhood journey or what your mentor asked you and how you felt so good when he asked you about that one particular question. What is it that you want to achieve from Toastmasters outside of Toastmasters? So these places I really felt it would have been good if there was slightly more vocal variety. Your pitch and your sound kind of remains consistent throughout. And how can you improve on it? Next time when you're practicing, when you take up visionary communication and want to finish it within 3 months, please audio record your speech and listen to it. Again, audio record that speech. because that's when you will understand, oh, am I being too bland or do I have my ups and downs? Okay. With this, a big salute to you for completing presentation mastery and for keep focusing on learning with such great integrity. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for that wonderful evaluation. Now, our next and the last evaluation for Toastmaster Samita is coming from distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta. Distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta is PPPR of both the Gabbys online Gabbys Toastmaster Club and also the Gabbys Online Toastmaster Club. He has achieved 2 DTM awards, 3 triple crowns, and completed 8 paths. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta.
Thank you, Prabha. So, Samita, first of all, congratulations for very successfully moderating a panel discussion. This project is a very important project for the very simple reason that this is one project which is very difficult to practice. You know, the rest of the projects are very easy to practice. You can practice in front of the camera with your friends and family. But a panel discussion, how do you practice, right? Because you need an audience, you need a panel. And so you did a very good job in terms of practicing how would you deliver the questions, how would you ask the questions, how would you frame the questions. So there was a lot of effort that you have put in terms of that structuring that panel discussion. Whenever I am evaluating this particular project, one of the first things that I look at is the panel selection right. That's the first and most important thing, right? Because without a good panel, you will not have a good panel discussion. And you had a very good panel today. You had a good representation from various different fields. You had people who had different point of views in terms of they brought in different aspects of their journey into the discussion. So it was not like the same points getting reiterated by each of the members. That's a good job there. I also like the fact that the questions that you posed were very well constructed. There was not any ambiguity in terms of understanding what the questions meant. And that is something that I appreciate. Now, a couple of things where I think you could have done better. Number one, the topic in itself is a very broad topic that you have selected. I would always recommend to bring it down to a particular questions or a subset of that particular topic. Like, for example, if I want to do a panel discussion on India's independence struggle, that's not a great idea because in 18 to 22 minutes or 20 to 40 minutes, you cannot capture all the aspects of the independence struggle, the freedom movement. Probably you can talk about Jallianwala Bagh in particular. That is something that we can do justice. Similarly, soft skills is a very huge area. Right? There is a lot of things within that. In fact, 99% of the people, if I take 5 people from this group and put them in 5 different rooms and ask them what is soft skills, we'll get 5 different answers with very little overlap, right? So try to constrict it and restrict it to a very much more defined premise for the discussion. Now, second is about the time distribution. You had very little time left at the end for any question and answers. Ideally, your Q&A should start when the green card is on, so that there is sufficient time for people to engage with the panelists. Your Q&A session came up when the yellow card is on. So this is the feedback for everyone who's practicing this project. Remember, the panelists are here and we want that opportunity to ask them our questions as well. You have to give us that opportunity. So apart from that, I think it was a very well constructed and a very well conducted panel discussion. You did a great job as a moderator. Just give us more time for asking the questions and try to make the topic a little specific so that the panel discussion is you're doing justice during the discussion and they can also do justice to the topic. Thank you. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta, for your wonderful evaluation. Now, timer, would you please share the timer report and let us know if there is any disqualification in the evaluations?
Thank you so much, TMOD. There is one disqualification. Toastmaster Bindhu Joseph, who was evaluating in the evaluation session, is overboard. Otherwise, all others are on time. I'll share my detailed report in the chat box. Maybe the speakers and evaluators can look upon. That was all from my side. TMOD, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the report that you are going to share, Toastmaster Maanvi. Now, today we won't have any polls for the prepared speech section, as I mentioned earlier, because we had one path breaker speech today, but we will have poll for the evaluations. Zoom Master, could you please launch the poll, and I request everyone to cast their vote. All right. But before that, I would like our Toastmasters to give a quick feedback or like their experience of our session today. Anyone wants to come up and say a few words? I see guests have left, I think.
Mostly we have the speakers who have delivered these long speeches, as well as a few of the evaluators, along with the timer and TMOD. As a role taker, maybe you can ask their feedback.
Toastmaster Sudharma, would you like to come up on the stage and share your experience? Sudharma, are you there? Toastmaster Sudharma?
Yes, I am there. I log on 8:30 actually because I had some conference and came back. But I should tell that I participated evaluation session and I was lucky I could listen to that panel discussion evaluation because I am also trying to do a panel discussion. Thank you. And I am thankful to the team Sourav for that evaluation. I got the message. We should raise the questions in green card option. Yeah. Thank you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudharma. Maybe Toastmaster Bindhu would like to come up and speak her thoughts.
Actually speaking, I am a member of some advanced clubs, and they give an opportunity for the speaker to give a rebuttal on how the speaker found the evaluation useful or maybe not useful, or they might even want to justify something that the evaluator got wrong. So it might be interesting if you just put a question to the speakers on how they felt whether our evaluation was useful or not. I'd be really interested to know.
Okay, any speaker wants to come up and share their thoughts?
Toastmaster Bindhu, was that a direct question for me? Shall I take the challenge?
No, Nancy, I already got your reply and I am over this thing with that, but to the other speakers, definitely.
That's a wonderful point. We can definitely open the floor at this point in time. Generally, we try to avoid opening up the floor while the evaluation is on and the meeting is in flow, so that if there's a lot of to and fro, the meeting schedule will go out completely. So right now, in case any of the speakers would like to share, how did they feel about the evaluation, or is there any justification you want to share with your evaluator, we can incorporate this right now. Or you can also choose a way, just like I did. I thanked my evaluator and shared what I loved about her evaluation over a personal chat.
Can I choose Toastmaster Monica?
Hi, Toastmaster Prabha. I would like to thank my evaluator.
I think she got dropped off.
There's some network issue. Toastmaster Chaitanya, would you like to come up and share your experience and what you think?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So I felt the evaluation was really good, and like storytelling, the project which I had taken up is a really tough one because there you need to grab the attention of your audience and you have to keep them in the flow of whatever you are imagining and what you are able to see. So whatever Toastmaster Shilpa gave the points that she gave me, I think that will really be helpful for me in future, not only in the storytelling speeches, but also in the other types of speeches, as in the overall public speaking. So it was really nice for me.
Thank you so
Over
much,
to you.
Toastmaster Chaitanya, for sharing your thoughts. I think can I announce the results of best evaluator? I know we are ending our meeting today before time, much before time. So I have the result for the best evaluator. Can anybody guess who is going to be the best evaluator for today's session? Any guess?
DTM Sourav.
Toastmaster Bindhu. Lakshmi, Shilpa. Okay, Toastmaster Samita.
Okay. So the best evaluator for today's session is none other than DTM Sourav Dutta. Sorry, distinguished Toastmaster Sourav Dutta. A big round of applause to him. All right. So I enjoyed this session as much as I think you all have enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to meet you all this Saturday at 10 a.m. Yeah. Good night and take care. Sweet dreams.
Thank you so much, Prabha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Maanvi.
Thank you, Maanvi. Yes.